In this lesson, we're going to explore botnets and zombies. Now, a botnet is a network of compromised computers or devices controlled remotely by malicious actors, and they're often used for cyber attacks or other malicious activities. A botnet is created by using other types of malware to gain access to a system, victimize it, and then add it to the botnet so that the attacker who controls the botnet can use the processing, memory, storage, or networking capabilities of your system without your consent. Now, each botnet is made up of hundreds, thousands, or even millions of compromised systems, which we call zombies. Now, a zombie is simply the name of a compromised computer or device that is part of a botnet and used to perform tasks using remote commands from the attacker without the user's knowledge. So, what happens to your computer if it becomes the victim of a botnet? Well, let's pretend that your computer picked up some kind of malware, and that malware was designed to change your computer into a zombie. Your single workstation, which is now considered to be a zombie, is then added to the larger botnet as part of a collection of compromised computers under the control of a master node. If your computer is now a zombie, your system will now be under the control of the attacker, and that attacker can use a command and control node, known as a C2 node, to control all the zombies inside of their specific botnet. Now, by sending commands to their C2 node, the attacker can tell the zombies to perform lots of different things, including using zombies as pivot points so they can get access to a new victim, or if they're attacking a server, they can actually access it through your computer to make it look like you're the one doing the attack or the hack instead of the actual attacker who sent the command through their master C2 node. Other attacks will try to create large botnets so they can store illegal content across a large number of devices. For example, if somebody wants to host child pornography, but they're afraid of getting caught with it, they can store their illegal videos and photos across hundreds or thousands of affected machines inside of this botnet. Another common use of botnets is to use them to spam others by sending out phishing campaigns and other malware to their targets around the world. But by far the most common use of a botnet is to conduct a DDoS attack, which is known as a distributed denial of service attack. Now, a distributed denial of service attack, known as a DDoS, will occur anytime you have a lot of machines targeting a single victim and then attacking them all at the same time. Now, let's assume that I'm a threat actor and I have control over 100,000 machines as part of my botnet. If I wanted to take down your organization's website, I can use my C2 node to order all 100,000 zombies in my botnet to target your victimized server and make requests to it repeatedly until the amount of load is so much that it forces your web server offline. Essentially, your organization can't handle all the load that I'm sending to it, and so the web server will actually crash and not be able to perform its function for your legitimate users or customers. Since around 2015, though, many threat actors have begun to use botnets to make money by using their zombies to do processor-intensive things like crypto mining on their behalf too. So, if an attacker can get 10,000 or 100,000 zombies as part of their botnet, they can command those zombies to give you 20 to 25% of their available processing power so they can continually mine cryptocurrency in the background without your knowledge or consent. Now, by doing this, they can have a lot of zombies working in parallel to mine coins that can be stored in the attacker's digital wallet by redirecting the gain coins through their command and control nodes. Another use of botnets by attackers is to use this combined processing power to break through different types of encryption schemes. Here again, the attacker is trying to gather as many zombies as possible to add them to this distributed computational network in order to use some of each of the zombies' processing capabilities to brute force different encryption schemas. Now, to avoid detection, attackers will usually not take up all of your computing power, but instead, they'll usually use 20 or 25% of your available processing power, so it takes you a little bit longer to detect that, and that way you don't realize your machine has been compromised. After all, if I broke into your machine and took over 90 to 100% of your processing power, your computer would fail to respond to your own requests, and then you'll start looking for the cause of that, which would, in this case, find that you are now part of my botnet as a zombie, and so most attackers aren't going to be greedy and they're not going to try to use up all 90 to 100% of your processing power, and they'll stick with only 20 to 25% across hundreds or thousands of zombies to still have a great computational network and tons of processing power at their disposal for all the malicious or nefarious things they want to do, like conducting distributed denial of service attacks or making money through crypto mining. So remember, botnets and zombies are used to create large networks of compromised machines. A botnet is a network of compromised computers or devices that are controlled remotely by a malicious actor, and they're often used for cyber attacks or other malicious activities. A zombie, on the other hand, is the name of a single compromised computer or device that's part of the botnet, and it's used to perform the task using remote commands from the attacker without the user's knowledge. These botnets are used to create large distributed computing capabilities that can be used by an attacker to conduct a distributed denial of service attack, or crypto mining, or breaking encryption depending on the needs of that attacker and the commands they send through their command and control node.